Hey, welcome. It is the Sharpe Way, Monday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, yet again, the Monday AMA Mama. Does that work? Is that a good acronym? Maybe it is. The Monday Ask Me Anything. Very happy that you are all here. As I bug you every single time, once you jump on, please click that like, comment, and share. It matters. The more you do it, the more we share and spread. Please do that. It really does matter. Let's get more people knowing they're out here doing stuff. And you can ask me all kind of crazy questions and make people mad if you want to. So you can do that too. So people can get angry or happy or cry or laugh or whatever you think. We can be all emotional if you like. I'm happy to make that happen. And of course, as always, go to Twitter and follow me on Twitter. It matters. Guys, I'm very close to, I think it's 3,000 or so on my Sharpe Way. If you guys jump on board, you can get it over that bump. I know many of you follow me on Larry Sharpe, which I'm happy, but we've also got to build a Twitter. So please head on over there, follow me on Twitter, but don't stop with just that. If you're watching me and it's not on Facebook, click on that Facebook also. Head over to my the Sharpe Way with Larry Sharpe Facebook page and like that also. And of course, YouTube, subscribe. More subscribers, the better. The more people see it, the more people want to be on board. Please go ahead and do that. And for those of you who have some cash, head on over to patreon.com/SharpeWay. Throw me $5, $10, $20. Starting in a couple of weeks, I'm going to start having some special Patreon-only content. So those of you cool people who get the $5 a month, $10 a month, will get that. Now, if you don't have the cash, no worries. Just like, comment, and share. It really is that easy. Just do that, and life is good. Look, I want to be clear on something that I'm upset about. Hi, Ryan. One thing I'm a little bit concerned about here is what's happening right now in New York City. New York City is a curfew, and many cities are having curfews, right? Chicago decided the curfew because you know what the leaders said? The leaders of these cities, they actually said, they literally said, you know what? We don't like the violence, so our response is violence. That's what they said. We don't like the violence. Our response is violence. But that's what it is now. The problem that I have with it, of course, is not only that we have a curfew, today we actually have a curfew of 11 p.m. in New York City. 11 p.m. in New York City. And most people aren't happy with that. Why? It's too late. I'm not joking. New York City's like, you haven't crushed us enough. Lord and Master, will you please crush us even more? Will you please devastate us even more? We want you to destroy us. We really have a problem here with fear and worry and Stockholm syndrome. It is really bad here. So that's what we're dealing with in New York. So yes, 10 p.m. to 5 p.m. In curfew. Lyft and Uber being shut down. Absolutely happening in Orlando. Absolutely. Shutdowns everywhere. But my worry isn't only that. While that's bad, the worry is even more in that we want more. It's not early enough for us in New York City. Can we make it 6 p.m.? Just lock us down forever? It's crazy, but I'm sure there'll be essential people, and that'll make it even easier. And yes, Brad, people are so quick to give their freedom. And you know, in theory, I'm actually okay with it. In theory, right? Very often we give up our rights because we feel there's a value to it. We agree to give up our rights. When I joined the military, I gave up my rights to be a Marine, right? I gave up some of my rights to do that voluntarily. I'm okay with that. My worry is, you know, that was a contract. And when my contract was done, I got my rights back, in theory. I got my rights back. These rights don't come back. Brad, they're gone. That's the game. They don't, if it was here's an agreement. I agree to have my rights, removed for X amount of time because I voluntarily do it because I want something. I'm fine. People do it all the time. This isn't voluntary, and it's not coming back. So it's absolutely true. Let me grab some of these if I could. Let's see. Justin Amash seems, I think he means on board with your 4-point quick. You mentioned addressing through courts. He's throwing legislation. Damon, I agree. Yes, a lot of people were concerned about the idea of, for those who don't remember, yesterday I talked about how do we fix these issues. I talked about I don't want justice, I want change. And I came up with the quick acronym. Q stands for, so if I get my own acronym right, that I made it this weekend. Let me touch that real fast. Why did I bother making up an acronym? Why did I bother making up policy? Because that's what good political leaders do. Activists go out and scream and yell and get attention, which we need. I value activists tremendously. Without them, people don't even notice us. So we do need activists. And we need policy people and politicians, right? We need those also. Politicians have to create policies that people can go, oh, that makes sense. Oh, I'm with you. So me being the politician that I am, I made it up this weekend. And QUIC is the acronym I created. Q is to end qualified immunity, making cops just regular people, which is what they should be. Treat them as such. I was having police officers, like any other professional, carry insurance, liability insurance. If they're bad cops and they get sued often, the city doesn't pay, the state doesn't pay anymore. So the city and state have an incentive to find the truth, not to cover up anymore because they're not physically paying for it. And if the cop gets, is sued so often or so bad, they can't carry insurance anymore because insurers won't carry them. They can't be cops anymore. No one has to be fired. Unions don't have to be involved with that. It just ends. How do you get around unions? Unions can be brokers for insurance. So it's another place, another way for unions to still make money, still support cops. But now unions can spend much more time supporting good cops and encouraging better cops because that's how they buy the insurance versus only supporting, and they often only support bad cops. So that was my whole point. And I think Amash is on board, as he should be. I'm glad. I'm very glad he's on board. Again, I'm happy he's here. Ryan, I finally got my mom tuning yesterday, and she was on board to use the Lord's name in vain too many times. Sorry, Ryan. Yeah. When I get emotional, I'm still Marine. And usually I don't swear that often. Normally I don't. But when I get emotional, I do fall back into my old ways. So please tell your mom I'm sorry. I was emotional. It was an issue that was very close to me, and I went a little too much. So please let her know at least I acknowledge it. I don't know if that'll bring her back or not, but at least let her know that I acknowledge it. I get it. And when I become emotional and that issue's very close to me, I sometimes go a little too far. So I apologize for that. Please let her know I'm sorry, and I recognize it. I hope that's something. Hope we can get her back. So thank you for listening. I like the idea that Amash stole my idea, but I don't think he did. Qualified immunity was around for a bit, and I'm sure he's been writing that. I just think we both thought the same thing. I really doubt he stole it. But even if he did, awesome. You all can steal my stuff. Steal everything. Totally happy. If he did steal it, awesome. He can have it. But I really don't think he stole it. I do like that idea. Makes me feel good that he stole it. I hope he did. But, I mean, he had to have that entire thing written up. I don't think he said, oh, Larry, genius. Let me write this thing up. I love the idea. I hope he did. I don't think so. So, Dan, are you running for office again? I might, right? I'm really open to running for governor in 2022. I have not decided if that's true or not, but I'm very much open to it. As most of you who follow me know, I'm not a fan of running just to run. I only want to run if I believe I can make serious impact. If I believe I can make serious impact, that's when I run. Because when I run, I don't work. I just run. I don't make any money. I literally just go off and I just run. It becomes a full-time job for me. It's a burden on my family, a burden on my finances, a burden on my social life. It's a burden on everything. And I'm going to be bugging you, right? When I run, I'm going to be out here saying, give me money every day, telling you to get out there and wave signs for me, ask you guys to drive me around. I'm going to be asking you for stuff too. As I sacrifice for myself, I'm going to ask you to sacrifice. And I'm only going to do that if I think that I can really make impact. And if I think I can make impact again in New York State, which I did last time by getting ballot access, if I believe that I would consider doing it again. So I probably, I'm open to it, but I don't want to say a yes or a no. I hope that's clear. I understand there is such a thing as burner burnout, activist burnout, volunteer burnout. And I never want any of you to feel burned out because of me. I want you all to be energized because of me. Like, wow, I'm glad I was on that campaign. I'm glad I gave that guy money. I'm glad I was out waving signs. I'm glad I did that because I got impact. I put something in, I got something out. And I hope many of you are saying, those of you who supported me during that time, that I'm still putting stuff in, right? That I'm still trying to I'm still trying to make sure that you got a bunch of value from that, because I will be asking you again probably at one point. The odds are I will run for something again, but it looks like the next one, if there will be a next one, will be governor of New York in 2022. So anyway, hope that was clear. Just left a peaceful sine wave at my N qualified immunity. Yes, thank you. Yes, I appreciate that. It's a great sign. A great sign. All right. Let's see. Can we take a moment to talk about the value of armed protests and changing the monopoly of force? Yeah, I think we can, Lynden. It's a great question, right? There is definitely, without question, it's not black and white. Maybe I'll say that. It's not black and white, Lynden. It isn't. And people will say, but they broke the law, or they destroyed private property, and that means they're evil. I want to say I never am saying that anyone should destroy someone else's private property ever. I'm not saying that. What I am saying is there are levels and gradations of this. And while Martin Luther King Jr. was not for rioting at all, that was not his thing. He was against it. He never said it was disgusting. Never said that. And he also said he understood it. And he also said that it doesn't come from nothing, right? When people feel helpless or hopeless or useless, they very often turn to violence. Now, I know the answer, but that's no excuse for violence. It's what humans do, right? It's what humans do. There is an argument to say it is a backlash. Now, again, I want to be clear. I'm not saying it's the same as murdering a cop or murdering, George Floyd. I'm not saying that. I'm saying there are levels of gray here. And for us, for anyone to go, well, they burned down a store, now everything's invalid. That's garbage. That's not true. That's not true. If you burn down someone's store, you should be punished for that. That's bad. But that does not make anything else invalid. If people are using it for distraction, no. If using it as an add-on, yeah, I'm okay with that. It's an add-on, right? And the example I often give is, if I murder somebody, but Lynden, you smack some guy in the back of the head, you shouldn't smack a guy in the back of the head. But it doesn't make my murdering any better. It doesn't make my crime any better. I still murdered somebody. So let's put our resources and everything on me first to stop me from murdering people. Then we can talk to you about you slapping people in the back of the head. Both bad, but way different in the magnitude. And neither one makes the other one better or worse. If anything, yours is not as bad because I murdered somebody, right? And if you're mad that I murdered somebody and that's why you slapped someone in the head, still you shouldn't have done it. Still you're wrong. Just it's not as bad as me murdering. But there's something else. Armed protest does get attention. And I hate to say that, but it's a fact. Again, it's human nature. It gets attention. When those guys walked into the state house with the guns, I think terrible visual, but man, it gets the news. It makes attention. People are paying attention. If your goal is to be an activist and get attention, I get it. Makes sense. My worry is I don't want to do it for nothing. The reason why I came up with the QUIC acronym is to put something behind the actual protests. I don't want it to turn into, Occupy Wall Street, which wound up doing nothing. A lot of time, energy, and money for nothing. So if we're going to do this, damn it, let's get something out of it. That's why I came up with QUIC. So I think, armed protest does get attention as much as I think. My worry about armed protest, though, of course, is if one side's armed and the other side's armed, the odds of violence just shot up tremendously. The odds of dead law enforcement just shot up tremendously. And dead law enforcement always means more of a crackdown and more dead civilians. That's how that always works. As I said, if I was a mayor or if I was a governor, I'd be backing off completely. I'd be like, you know what? No violence. Guys, please go back home. Let's talk and have some plans. I wouldn't be worried, and it's going to sound crazy. I know it's going to sound nuts, but I'm very forward about this. If I was in charge now of either the state or the city, I'm not bringing in more cops. I'm not bringing in the guard. No, the reverse. I'm coming with a plan to make things better and saying, let's talk now. I hear you. You can stop burning stuff now. You can stop killing people. You can stop all of that now. You wanted me to hear you? Ears wide open. Let's discuss. Stop it. Because the second I do that, and now you're violent, now you're wrong. Period. I just won the moral high ground. The second I say, I'm done, I'm not fighting, let's talk, I hear you. And you go, let's burn down a building. Now you're completely obviously wrong. I don't have my cops on you. I don't have my military on you. And you're burning stuff down? What's wrong with you? I'm saying, let's talk. Let's fix this. Let's end qualified immunity. If I was a governor or mayor right now, that's all I'd be talking about. You're right. Let's end this stuff. Let's change how cops are. Let's change policing. No, let's do it. I hear you. If people are heard, they tend to not go to violence. It's not a 100% rule. But if someone does go to violence after they're heard, no question who's wrong at that point. The gray area goes away. Now it becomes a clear black and white. So I think we're doing exactly the wrong answer. I'd be backing off, and now, okay, these people are wrong. So I hope that was something. I know that's where you want to go, Lynden. If you want to go some more, I'll look down, see if I can find some more comments. I hope that was interesting. Gone. All right. Sucks to be a small business in 2020. Oh my God, yes. Oh my God, Alex, you are so right. And the wealth gap, right on the money, my friend. Right on the money. The wealth gap happens mostly because of the crashes that happen every 10 years or so, right? The first one happened, the dot-com bubble happened, then the real estate, and now the debt bubble. Each bubble popped, and right before each bubble pops, the wealthy cash out and become liquid so that they can then buy up all the assets. You notice those senators who are in trouble now because they got the word and they all cashed out early so they could buy everything? Yeah, it wasn't just senators. The senators are the ones that we saw. Those are the ones that we saw. Small business devastated. The people who hurt the most in this, believe it or not, aren't the very poor. The very poor are always in pain, and we should always be trying to help the very poor. But in something like this, the very poor don't have that far to fall because they're already very poor, right? So they're hurting as always. We should always care about them. But the people who are devastated here, working poor, middle class, they are crushed because they can't pay their bills. They can't keep their assets. They've got to sell stuff to live. The people who own start renting. The people who have things have to start giving those things up. That's who will get crushed. Alex, you're completely correct. So what do you think about Trump mobilizing the military? Terrible idea. Terrible idea. It is a bad idea. And history has shown us this. One of the reasons why World War I happened was because of too fast mobilization. Mobilizing the military is a bad idea. We are not Afghanistan. If you treat this country like it's Afghanistan, you will get Afghanistan. Don't mobilize the military. This is the chance to back off, not double down. If you're going to tell me you can't be a violent protester, so what are you going to do? Violence. You know, at one point, people begin to not care. We already don't have jobs. We already don't have businesses. Our city's already trashed. We don't have friends anymore because they're sitting in our houses all day. And your answer is, get back in your cell. That's your answer. Get back in your cell. At one point, we go, I don't want to live in a cage. I don't care what happens. I guess I get shot then. And when that begins to happen, now it's a problem. Now it's a problem. Because one of three things happens. One, we just become sheep. We become Afghanistan, or the sheep. Horrible. Two, the cops and military stop following orders, which is what I hope happens. I hope they begin to go, no, I'm not going to shoot at my own people. No. I hope they all of a sudden can't hear the order or my, you know what, my M16's jammed, right? I don't want to do that anymore. I hope that happens. Or three, civilians start shooting back. Terrible answer. I don't want, that's revolution. Bad idea. I hope that doesn't happen. But that, if you keep pushing, one of those three things happens. The only one that's okay in my book is number two, is the cops and the National Guard go, what am I doing? I'm not doing this. What am I doing? No, I'm not going to fire my own people. But we saw yesterday in Minnesota, yep, no problem, firing rubber bullets into people's homes. Let's hope that changes. So, hey, Laura, how you doing? All right. I asked some cops what they think about ending qualified immunity. They literally said no comment. Why would they comment? Why would they? If they go, yeah, we should end it, and anybody sees that, you know how they'll be just devastated in their own police community? If they actually agree with it, they can't say anything. I wouldn't bother cops at all. Let the cops be quiet. It's not their place. And that sounds horrible. Not their environment. And I'm not trying to make excuses for cops. I'm making excuses for human beings who are caught in a system. That's all I'm doing. right? They're humans caught in a system. And when they're in a system, they're going to be like, quiet. And if we get rid of it, half the cops will be like, fine. And half the cops will be like, God damn it, I can't kill people anymore. Yeah, you can't. Yes. So I get it. Yes, we are losing those. It's not the boog, Craig. It is not the boog. It's not. I don't want it to be the boog. Please don't let it be the boog. I do not want it to be the boog. No, I want our cops and our National Guard to just go no. That's what I want. That's it. Yes. Freedom isn't easy, Ryan. And here's the other piece. Some people don't want to be free. And I'm actually okay with that. You don't have to be free. You just can't force others to not be free. And that's my problem. My problem is someone doesn't want to be free saying, well, you can't be free either. That's my problem, Ryan. If they just go, look, I would like to just do whatever the governor says. Okay. What the governor can do is then create guidelines, and you can voluntarily follow all the guidelines and tell me how righteous you are by following the government guidelines. I think that's amazing. You'll try to shame me into following the government. No worries. As long as you can't force me or send cops or put me in jail or fine me, I'm okay. Shame me all day that you're better than me because you follow the government guidelines. No worries. If we went that route, we'd be fine. And some people would agree and they'd follow the government guidelines and feel righteous. Good for you. I think you're totally right. Do the unions have enough political clout to kill Amash's bill? Yes. Yes. Yes, they do. If we don't get people behind this, which is why one of the things I talked about when I was talking about the qualified immunity, I think what Amash is doing is the right answer. I think it has no chance of passing. I hope I'm wrong. I so hope that I come back and go, wow, was I wrong on that? I hope I'm wrong. I just think there's no chance of it passing, which is why I talk about Supreme Court. If it goes to the Supreme Court, one of the reasons why the Supreme Court won't take this is because they know they have to go, yeah, this is some BS right here. They have to make it go away. And they don't want to because they don't want to go against law enforcement. We have to push the Supreme Court to actually accept this as a challenge and go, you know what? How can we make one class of people because of their profession better than others? It doesn't make any sense. How can we do that? So, yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I've been trying to share the crap out of your 4-point plan. Please keep sharing. I appreciate it. Yes. For my last campaign, I came up with an acronym for my top issues. It was THC, taxes, healthcare, and criminal justice. Look at you, Joe. Nicely done. That's how we do it, brother. Just like that. Keep that going. Yes. Why is Trump saying Antifa when he's talking about everybody on the streets? Is he a fascist? I'm not sure if Trump is a fascist. I don't think he's a fascist. I think what Trump is a Trumpist. Very similar to what Cuomo is, a Cuomoist, right? They are about themselves and they want to maintain their power. I think most executives feel that way, sadly. I think Trump is like all the rest of them. And I know you guys who love Trump think Trump is super special. I don't. I think he's like all the rest of them, trying to keep his own power, doing what he can, just like Cuomo does, whatever he can to keep his own power. And they do and say what they need to. The Antifa piece. I do think Antifa is taking advantage of this, as I think many organizations would and could and do take advantage of things like this. I believe they are doing it. And my issue is if you're saying Antifa's here, so let's be concerned or worried or whatever, okay, that makes sense. I'm with you. But if you're saying this is all about Antifa, that's distraction. That's not true. And that's what Trump is trying to get people to believe. I don't think he's actually saying that. I don't remember if I think he's trying to get people to believe that. Some of his surrogates are saying that. Oh, it's all Antifa. It's not all Antifa. Is Antifa there? I'm sure. They're taking advantage of all kinds of course they would. So would the alt-right or whatever. There's people fighting in the streets. Of course they take advantage of it. If you want to add on and say, look at this, be concerned, makes total sense. I'm in. If you're going to say that's what it's about, nothing else, that's distraction. That's that idea of some guys slapping people in the head and then some guys killing people. So let's focus on the guy slapping people in the back of the head. No. Focus on the people who are killing. That's the issue. So I hope that was clear. With so many people afraid, how can we help them to understand that things like curfews only paying word service to an illusion that it will not help? You know, it's hard, Missy. What happens is when the government comes in and says, I'm sending troops or I'm sending cops, most of America says, oh, good, now I'm safe. And we worry a lot about safety. It's a big issue. In fact, if you poll Americans today, it's one of their number one issues is safety. People are worried. They're scared of the Chinese. They're scared of COVID. They're scared of Antifa. They're scared of socialism. They're scared of Trump. They're scared of insert thing here. Many Americans are afraid. So I think this actually makes them feel better when they have curfews, which is why people in New York City are like, 11, why not 6? Why not forever? I mean, it just keep us in our cells and lock us up. They're very happy about that. So I think how we do it is by keep talking. Luckily, people are doing this a lot, so we just keep talking. So yes. All righty. Let's see if I can grab some more. Minneapolis has been run by Democrats for 40 years. A campaign to turn Minneapolis and Minnesota Gold. I love that idea, John. The reality of it is the vast majority of cities in America are run by Democrats, right? Most urban areas are blue and most rural areas are red. Again, it's not a 100% rule, but it's a good 95% rule across America. Most urban areas are blue. Most rural areas are red. That's the way it tends to be. So most cities are. So how you can get a city to turn red when it was blue or urban area to turn blue when it was red? You're probably not. So instead, turn it gold. You are correct. We can spend a lot of time turning it gold because gold allows you to cross over, right? And in the last 40 years, any of you who are old enough to have, say, voted, say, in the last 20 years along that 20 years or more, right? If you voted for 20 years or more, the odds are you've been taught from the people around you, if you voted the same, if you voted Democrat for 20 years or Republican for 20 years, you've been taught around you that the other guy is evil. Right. So if you've been voting Democrat for 20 years, Republicans are evil. If you've been Republican for 20 years, Democrats are evil. So there's a bad taste in your mouth by voting for the other guy. So you'd rather either hold your nose and vote for your guy, but you hate him, can't stand him, or you don't vote. You don't show up. But you could vote gold because you haven't been taught by your environment that voting gold is evil. You've been taught voting gold is dumb or useless or who cares. You've been taught that. So hopefully, if you listen to us enough, you'll go, oh, that's not true. It isn't dumb or useless. So, oh, okay, or bad. It's actually good. And you can vote that way. I think going gold for a lot of places is the only way for change. The only way. I hear people all the time yesterday, all the leaders, we got to take care of the ballot box and vote, vote, vote. All they mean is put their guy back in charge. They don't actually mean change. Right? Think about it. This country's been run by Democrats and Republicans back and forth for the past 40 years. Democrats been president, Republicans been president. Congress has been Democrat, Congress has been Republican. They've had all three. They've had it mixed, and still no one ends qualified immunity. No one takes cannabis off the Schedule 1. That's both federal level. None of them. Neither of those things are done. No one ends civil asset forfeiture. Those are all through at the federal level. The insurance piece could be federal, but could also be local. No one does it. So why would it matter? I think you're right, John. Gold is the answer. I appreciate that. Please run. Thank you. Yes, I do want to run. Absolutely. And Jennifer, it's the halftime show. Coronavirus is not over. Right now, you're scared of this. So they're going to make sure once you're not scared of this anymore, Corona will come back. You can be scared of that. So yes, the 2020 is the year of fear. Ooh, did I just rhyme that? I did. Look at that. I'm better than I thought. 2020 is the year of fear, right? That's what it is. So what is it? Murder hornets are coming and Australia's on fire. Koalas are dying. And now Corona's killing us all. And now this is happening and the city's on fire. So they'll find something else to make you afraid of. Stay afraid. So either you stay home or you vote the same blue, red. And we make sure that one more year, yes, we kept in power and Americans stayed asleep. So it's the halftime show. Hope I answered your question. So what is Trump thinking? Threatening to send U.S. military to cities where mayors or governors that don't get situation under control in the streets. Look, the thing that people like, and I'm not for this. I think this is the wrong idea. I'm just explaining it. He wants to show he's strong. Leaders do this all the time. It isn't just Trump who does this, right? Leaders do this all the time. Cuomo in New York State's ready to send the guard in, right? The mayor of Chicago, she's like, and we're going to enforce it, and we're going to be hardcore. We'll train you. They want to be strong, Kenny. That's the issue. They want to show strength. I think it's about it. I think you want to show strength with compassion. There is nothing savvier or nothing more trustworthy than using surrender as a tactic. But they can't do that. They don't understand how to do that. They don't understand how to say, I get it. Let's make some change. I get it. Let's make some change. They don't get how that it doesn't matter if you win a battle. I want to win a war. I'll lose a battle. I want to win the war. They got to win every single battle. So the war goes on forever and nobody wins. I'll lose a battle. You win. You win the battle. I want to win the war. And winning the war means, here's the most important piece. Winning the war actually means winning the peace. We don't seem to get that. We have to win the peace, right? Oh, so I bombed you to oblivion, or I destroyed your city, or I killed the protesters. Okay, now what? Do I have a crappy place to live in? I didn't win that peace. I want to win the peace. At the end, I either have to kill everybody I don't like, or I have to live with them. I'm going to say live with them. I want to live with them. So I think he's making a mistake, but I think he wants to show strength. The reality of it is most people who support a president, any executive, governor, mayor, president, most of the people who support that person, they want to see strength. And that shows strength. So again, I think it's wrong, but that's why I think he's doing it. Why run for governor of Congress? Because I'm not a legislator. I'm an executive. It's who I am. It's my personality. The different issues, the different ways of going about things. I'm an executive. So I will run for only an executive place. I'm not trying to win for the sake of winning. That doesn't make any sense, right? I have a job. I have a family. Why would I? I just want to say I'm a congressman. I don't need that. Let me be very forward, and some of you will be upset by this. The vast majority of libertarian runs are vanity runs. They just, when I want to be special, most of them are. Not all, but most of them are. I don't need a vanity run. I have a show with my name on it. I have enough vanity. I don't require any more. I already got a show with my name on it. I'm good. My vanity's done. I only want to run if I can make impact. I think I make the most impact by being an executive, by showing leadership, by being in the front, by motivating others, right? That's not what congressmen tend to do. Congressmen tend to be part of a group, they're on committees, things of that sort. It's not what I do. It's not what I'm good at. Not where I make the most impact. I would rather run for governor and motivate others to join so that they can go in the assembly, they can go in the Senate, they can go to Congress. That's why I run for governor. Plus, governor gives me the best chance of getting ballot access for my state, which if things go the way they're going to go, I don't know who else can do it for our party. I hope someone comes up. I hope I don't run because I have to run. That would suck, but that might be the case. So that's why governor over Congress. I hope that was clear at least. Thank you for your service. A Navy veteran. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Sherry. I love that. Love my veterans. Thank you. All right. Your campaign trained activists that later became candidates. Yes. And some got elected libertarians. That's impact. 100%. So that's my point. Just what I was talking about earlier when Alice asked. I want to be able to make impact. If I can't grow the party, if I can't see impact, what am I doing? I'm going to sacrifice for nothing? It makes no sense. So I agree with you a lot of the time, but I actually think that we would be better off trying to get the Democrats, Republicans to move in a more libertarian direction from the inside. It's a good point, Walter. And I think a lot of people think that's true also. Here's what I would ask you to consider, right? And I'm okay if you disagree. I am, as you guys know, I want you to stay on this page. I want you to keep watching. I don't mind if you disagree at all. I hope we can talk about this. If we have a strong libertarian party, by default, you will move Democrats and Republicans towards liberty. Because as our party grows, they'll see the votes they need and they'll shift anyway. So we wind up shifting both of them towards liberty if we have a strong libertarian party. So that means someone like you I don't know, say you want to vote Democrat. If you're in New York, you want to vote Democrat probably because most New Yorkers are Democrat. If you're in Oklahoma, you probably want to vote Republican because most Oklahomans are Republican. But whatever you want to vote, if you just vote Libertarian, one, there's a decent Libertarian candidate in front of you, and the rest you still vote red or blue, you're still helping the red or blue to go Libertarian. How do I know this? Because in New York State, we have fusion voting. And those who don't know, it means you can be on more than one line. You can be on Libertarian line and Democrat line, Libertarian line and Republican line, conservative line, green line, multiple lines if the parties agree. When we had all our victories in 2019, after I got ballot access in 2018, a huge portion of the people who won in New York State were also on other lines. Those people had to lean towards libertarianism or we wouldn't have endorsed them for our line. So a whole bunch, about 100 or so, if not maybe 200 total got endorsed. I forgot. It was over 100 that got endorsed total. I don't know how many actually won, but over 100 got endorsed. So that means over 100 candidates had to shift their policies towards libertarian. Many of them think they won or believe they won partially because of being libertarian, which means they'll want our line again, which means they will be more libertarian. There'll still be Democrats, there'll still be Republicans, but if I've got to have libertarians, Democrats that lean more libertarian or not, I'll take that. Walter, I'm with you. We're probably going to have a Democrat Republican Party for a long time. Probably. We can always hope not. But we probably are. And if I can get them to shift more towards libertarian, I'm in. The closer they get, the better, right? I was happy with Tulsi Gabbard coming to us. People were like, she's not libertarian. No, she's Democrat. But she leans libertarian. I'll take it. If most Democrats were more like Tulsi Gabbard, there'd be a better Democratic Party. They'd be closer to us. Still Democrats, but closer to us. I'll take it. Absolutely. Justin Amash, who's now one of us, right? More like him. I'll take that all day long. So I'm agreeing with you, Walter. I'm just saying if you support the Libertarian Party, I think it begins to happen, right? I think it happens anyway. So, Courage and Energy. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate that. Thank you. Semper Fi Marine. I've supported you for a while and didn't know you were a Marine. Please continue to seek an office, as I think you are one of the best representatives of libertarian principles. Thank you, Brian. I'm trying my best. Yes. MLK said writing is the language of the unheard. Absolutely. He did not say it was the right answer. He said he understood it. And all I'm saying for all you people who are so angry at the rioters, I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying have some empathy, not sympathy. I'm saying have some empathy. Say, I get it. They feel unheard and they're going out and trying to do something. They're feeling useless and helpless. Can I add some other piece of this, guys? Most of these people haven't had a job in at least a month, if not 2 or 3 months. They're feeling useless. They're feeling helpless. They're feeling like they can't do anything. And now it's a mission and go out and do something and have power and feel, and boom, out they go. Now, are there terrible people right next to them going, great, let me take advantage and do bad stuff? Of course, that's what happens when there's chaos like that. Yeah, that's what happens. It doesn't make their emotion or their reasons or their helplessness any less. It just makes the people who are doing bad stuff bad people. That's what it does. People who take advantage of it. Yes. I'm glad to hear you're open to running again. Yes, absolutely. We'll see. We can hopefully get New York State back in action. Yes. Who is the Rush Limbaugh of libertarian media? Do we even have libertarian media? Well, yes. There's Sharpe Way. We've got some. Does that make me Rush Limbaugh? I don't know. I need a Medal of Freedom, I guess. I don't think we have a Rush Limbaugh. I don't think we have one. There isn't that much libertarian media. The problem with most libertarian media either is stuck in an echo chamber or isn't really libertarian and calls itself libertarian, but it's actually Republican, right? So that's our problem, I think, when it comes to libertarian media, which is why I bug you guys. I tell you to share and like and click and go on my Sharpe Way Twitter and go on my Sharpe Way YouTube. In fact, go there now. Subscribe to my YouTube page, The Sharpe Way, not Larry Sharpe, The Sharpe Way. Subscribe to Twitter. Follow me on Twitter. Like me on Facebook, The Sharpe Way on Facebook, and go to YouTube and subscribe, because you're right. I don't think we have one. We need more and more. Yes, I am the Larry Legend. Thank you so much. Yes. Am I the only one here that mocked Kaepernick? It feels like now. I don't know. Look, I was okay with Kaepernick. I was like, well, I get it, man. Do your thing. Kaepernick paid a price, but then gained at the end. What are you gonna do? Was your murder, Larry? I don't know what that is. I don't know what your murder. What was your murder mean? I'm sorry about that. I don't know that. Well, if something doesn't change, I think we're gonna have a civil war. I am worried about violence too. I am worried about it. My biggest worry is after the election, there will be sporadic violence. Because remember, either Trump wins or he loses, right? If Trump wins, then the left goes, oh, it was the Russians and it's unfair, right? If Trump loses, the right goes, oh, it was the Russians, it was unfair, right? So no matter what, it's someone else's fault and it was unfair and it was cheated, right? Whatever happens. A lot of people are going to be unhappy, and I'm worried. And the next thing is, if we don't have a solid party for them to come to, those unhappy people, they either check out or they resort to violence. Both the wrong answer. I agree. It's a problem. Okay. Do you support the privatization of police? We aren't ready for that. We aren't ready for that. That is one of the reasons why we had to have the mob get involved with unions. The country is not prepared for privatization of police forces. They just aren't. If we started that, the wealthy would all have their own private police forces and the poor wouldn't. They would wind up being like it was the old bosses of when they were trying to, shoot workers and stuff like that. I mean, it was bad. Is that the future? Maybe. I'm okay with it in the future. Maybe when the country's ready. Our culture simply isn't there. Many people who are libertarian talk to me about logic all the time, right? Logic, here's how it works. This makes the most sense. Economics makes sense. That makes sense. And often they're right. The problem is you have to throw in our culture, right? What are people prepared to do? What will they do? People very often will act against their best interest because of cultural or emotional issues. It's common, happens all the time. So I like the concept of it, that we could have our own. I'd rather just have a lot more local police forces. Let's go there first. Let's go to local police forces and see how that works. I mean, we don't even have a situation where we respect private property yet. Think about that. The government just goes, no, you can't go to your work that you own. You can't go to your commercial building that you own and you purchased. We don't even respect private property. You want private police forces? I don't think we're anywhere near there. I don't think anywhere near there. Yes. I agree. Let's talk. It's the only way. Yes, absolutely. Violence is what happens when talking breaks down, right? War is the failure of diplomacy, right? I agree completely. No, Bob says they don't want to fix anything. That's why I don't listen. There's a lot of people who don't want to fix this. They like the concept of having issues that are wedges that keep us apart. They're happy about that. And when they're happy about that, they don't want to fix it. And a lot of people don't. I agree. Oh my God, Paul, you've hit a home run. And the problem is all this will somehow be blamed on capitalism. I've already heard it. I heard Cornel West talk, was it 2 days ago, maybe, talking about, oh my God, the reason for the fighting is because capitalism hasn't been able to support its people and capitalism hasn't been able to provide equality and capitalism. You are so right. They are already on that. Yep. This is going to be C. You know what? Government's so bad. You know what the answer is? More government. What else could be the possible answer? So, you know what we should do? Have the government take over everything, because government police forces are amazing. Clearly, that's why everyone's so happy. Then we'll just make the government police forces control everything. Yes, Paul, I wish you were wrong, but man, I think you're right. We have to fight that. And here's how we fight that. By not using the word capitalism. You rarely hear me use that, because what people believe capitalism is crony capitalism. So when we say capitalism is good, they hear you want crony capitalism, big business, monopolies, and business in bed with the government destroying us. No, that's what we have now. I don't want that. And if you go to a socialist model, we'll get a whole lot more of that. In fact, we won't even have oligarchies. We will only have monopolies. It'll be even worse. But the problem is, I talk about things like choice, consumer-driven, more options, breaking the monopoly of government. I speak in a very different way that most people hear it go, okay, I'm prepared to listen to this. So, Paul, my answer would be, let's not use that evil word. And I know libertarians who are hardcore economic guys, they hate that. They want to take that word back. That word's gone. That word. You know what? Tell you how good this was when Obamacare came out. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit going back, but Paul, you've hit a valid point here. A more important point. When Obamacare came out, they had the marketplace. Remember that, where you could buy your insurance in the marketplace, which was totally controlled by the government in every way, shape, or form. But they said it's the marketplace. It's private, so it's a private market. So when it failed, people said, see, private market failed. What amazing marketing that was. Destroyed capitalism. Just brilliant marketing. Totally wrong and BS. Totally. But does the average person think that far? No, the average person is thinking, how do I pay my bills this week? How do I take care of things? How do I get my kid in school? How do I make sure I don't lose my job? They're not paying attention to whether that was real private market or not private market. They hear some talking head on TV go, see, private market failed. Capitalism's bad. And they believe it. So, God, I hope you're wrong, Paul. There's a couple people who are saying stuff here that I really hope you're wrong. But I think you're right. We have to fight that. Yes. See if I can grab some more of these guys. Thank you. I'm trying to get all of them as always. It can be challenging. All right. How would you have had the COVID-19 if you had won the New York governor's race? I did cover that in detail. I think it was in March. If you head back and look in the Sharpe Way, March, I literally covered. I covered this literally 3 months ago. I expressed how to fix this 3 months ago, and no one bothered talking to me about it. Oh, Larry doesn't know anything. And I gave the way to fix this step by step 3 months ago. I actually did it also on the Shannon Joy show. If you want to go to her archives, I did it about a month ago. It's 4 pieces, about 11 minutes each, about 40 minutes. I explained every single piece, how to go through and how to fix this and prepare for the future. 100%. There's a libertarian answer, Josh. Absolutely. I hope you take the time to check that one out. So, as an elder gen person, what new millennial food / drink would be surprising for someone to find out you enjoy? Maybe that I'm on the keto diet. Maybe I've been in the keto lifestyle for about 10 years now. I rarely eat carbs. Rarely. I drink basically water and coffee is basically all I drink. And eating, I eat basically meat and veggies. It's basically all I eat. Eggs, meat, veggies, basically all I eat. So I think that's how I stay thin without having to work out 18 times a day. So I think maybe that's it. Maybe. Is there anything that's kind of millennial food or drink? I can't think of one. I can't think of one. No. Most of the stuff that the millennials like is carb loaded, and I don't eat many carb things. So I don't know. So Trump has said that Antifa is a terrorist organization. What now? Drone strikes on U.S. soil. That's the next step, isn't it? No, it's arresting without any warrants. It's putting people in jail and prison forever. It's sending his bad enemies to Gitmo. And I talked about this 4 years ago. People didn't believe me. I said that now that we have all these acts, the Patriot Act, there's going to be a president who decides these are my political enemies. I'm going to call them terrorists and I'm going to arrest them and send them to Guantanamo Bay. People thought that would never happen. Yeah, it will. Eventually. It's either Trump or the next guy. It's going to happen because the Patriot Act gives you the ability to just go, oh, I don't like you. You're a terrorist. See you in Gitmo. And when people go, well, they can do it in court. Not with the Patriot Act. You don't get a trial. You just go to Gitmo and they seize your assets. Oh, well. I think you're right, Paul. Yes. Let's see. The Boston Massacre lifted support for revolution. Yes, good point. Look, I don't want a violent revolution. I'll be clear. That's why I put a plan together so that it doesn't have to be a violent revolution. I don't want that. I would like a non-violent revolution. And I really hope that a year from now, George Floyd's name is going to be the name that everyone goes, that's the guy. Sucks that he died. Horrible that he died. I feel bad for his family. Man, but his death changed everything. His death helped us. My God. In this case, at least he dies for something. Otherwise, he just is another statistic. And I hate the idea that he's just another number. I hate that idea. I'd like his death. I can't bring him back, but at least be worth something. At least be something that matters for people other than his family, those who love him, obviously are devastated. But the rest of us, he's going to be a name we talk about. I want to be more than that. I think it can be. I think it can be. And I hope it is. I hope later on we go, look what happened from his death. His death changed our country. His death did something, had real impact in our country. I hope it does. If you were governor of California, how would you rid up or decrease the homeless population in Los Angeles? Homelessness is a very difficult piece. And I actually bring this up. I have policies for just about everything. So, but I'll cover it briefly. But if you want to, you can head to my YouTube page and I have a bunch of things. If I remember right, it's called Can't Feel the Burn. Maybe it's not sharp enough. I did 4 of them covering all of Bernie Sanders' policies and showing how you can do a libertarian answer for every one of his policies. I believe part 1 has the homeless issue covered, exactly how to deal with the homeless issue. right? And there's specifics on how to do that. As a general rule, the first thing is allow for tiny houses, number one. Two, allow nonprofits to step in who are people who have been homeless in the past. Three, stop relying upon shelters, right? While shelters aren't bad, the reliance upon them comes to a point where people don't want to go to the shelters. Literally, the homeless people don't want to go there. Or you now become so reliant when they go there, you have to pay extra because you don't have enough shelters, and you're paying hundreds of thousands of dollars every year, if not millions, to put homeless people in hotels. That actually happens. And then they go out. There's no long-term solution. And the longer-term solution is having actual places that, and the way this works, by the way, not every homeless person doesn't have income. Some homeless people actually are working poor. Some work, some don't. How you deal with the homeless people is by doing something like what they do in the Jericho Project in the Bronx. You create a facility. This can be nonprofit. Can be government if you want to, but I'd rather be nonprofit, but government can be fine. I mean, you could be sponsored if you want to. It's fine too. The McDonald's house, that kind of thing, right? You do that where everyone who goes there, and you allow for tiny houses and studios. Why? Because many people who've been homeless, it becomes their way of doing things, their way of life. And they very often have only one room or one area. If you give them a larger house, they wind up just hoarding in one area because they're accustomed to it. It has become their culture. Once they're on the streets, I think it's a year or two. There's a number that is the normal amount of time that most people kind of become that lifestyle where they don't even want to come out of the street. They would rather live in the street than someplace else because it becomes their lifestyle. You then allow them to go to small, tiny homes, all together in one group. The bottom floor is things like counselors, place where they can get a shower, change their clothes. Very hard for someone to go back to ones they love when they literally can't shower and get new clothes. You have that available for them also. Many of the homeless, not all, but statistically, more of them have mental illness than the non-homeless population. So you've got to have a spot for them too there to help them deal with those issues. And they simply pay 1/3 of their income, whatever that income is. If they go there, they pay 1/3. If they have no money, $0. If they make $100 a month, $33. They pay 1/3 of their income. That's it. That's their rent. If they pay that, what happens is they have an incentive now to make money, but they only pay 1/3. Once they make a bunch of money, it becomes, why would I pay all this money for a one-bedroom studio or studio? I won't do that. They leave. They move on their own. But many will stay. Why? Because when they stay, they realize that they can help others, and they become a support structure for others. And because of that warm, fuzzy feeling, they stay, and they wind up helping others. So they begin playing it forward. And then those people then get jobs as counselors for the people who are homeless. And that's how it continues. Now, that takes years. That's not 5 minutes. It takes multiple years to fix it, but that was a good general rule. I went in detail. If you want to go check it out, it was, I think it was either March or April I did it. I think maybe probably April. You can go check that one out on the Sharpe Way YouTube page. It's there. So, but anyway, I hope that helps. I don't know what that is, Charles. I hope it's something cool. Let's see here. People were at their homes. Cops told them to go inside. They didn't listen, and the cops said, light them up and fire them. Yes, exactly right. They began to fire them 100%. Yes. All right. Trump is salivating right now, sending troops. I hope that's not true, Tony. I don't want to believe that. I hope he just wants the posture to feel tough. And it's possible, right? The show really is tough. I hope it's a show of force. I hope it's a show when he can just see, guys, I'm a tough guy. I hope it's that. But you might be right. But I really hope he's just trying to be a tough guy. All right. Some libertarian sites seem to have a lot of pro-state people in them. So just know how to get them to understand it was just time. Look, you got to remember something. When people get afraid, they very often fall back to what they know. And what we know is government saves us. That's what we've been told, right? Sit back, relax, the government will save us. I think it does happen. And I think a lot of people who call themselves libertarians, when they get scared, head back to thinking that. And that's not a good or a bad thing. It's the way it is, John. I would be patient. Show them a way. Show them how to make this work. Show them that there are answers, and eventually many will come along. Some won't. Some won't, and that's fine. Some won't. But at least if they're liberty-leaning, I'll take it. What I bring up here often, and I use my state as an example, my city, this country really loves government. Like, really loves government. It's the answer for almost everything for the vast majority of Americans, right? The vast majority of Americans, that's the answer for almost everything. They love government. They love the state. They love it. Cuomo is like an 80% approval rating, and he's been crushing us for the last 10 years. And New York State loves him. Loves him. It's insane. So to be angry that most Americans love the state, that's most Americans. We have a lot of work to do. I mean, if you live in the libertarian circles, it seems like everybody hates the state. Nope. Absolutely not true. In libertarian circles, yes. But outside of our echo chamber, most people think government's the answer. Well, let's just pass a law. I hear it all the time. I live in New York City. I hear it all the time. We just need a law for that. All the time. Right? And even you got outside the city, what do you hear? Right? Well, just don't break the law and you'll be fine. You hear that all the time. Like law is gospel. So, John, I see your concern. I think we just have to keep talking. We have a lot of work to do. That's the reality. We have a lot of work to do. COVID, George Floyd gave us opportunities. Absolutely. And of all the people in America, a chunk of them went deeper into statism because of fear. But some of them are going, really? Those are the ones we have to talk to now. The ones who are going, this isn't what I thought. Those are the people, John, that you and I got to be speaking to more and more and more. And those who are falling into the state out of fear, don't be mad at them. Okay, you're afraid. I got you. You'll come back later. You can be that way. You'll come back later. That's what I think we do. That's my view. So, Semper Fi, brother, what do you think of the police station turning tail and banging their station? I think it was exactly the right answer. I know it sounds horrible. Sometimes you don't want to die on a hill. And that's a hill you do. Imagine what they would have had to do. Imagine in reverse. Imagine if those cops stayed in that station and then they got surrounded by civilians. What would they have had to do to save face? They would have had to attack those civilians. You know what? That's not military against military. That's police force against your own people. I'm all right walking away. I am. I think it was a better move. Better move. So you lost your police station. So what? You lost your police station. Fine. You'll rebuild that. You'll rebuild those police stations. I don't want you having to shoot and kill civilians. Don't want that. And the worst part is, if they have to fight back, they're fighting unarmed people. Look, Marines fight people who fight back. I get it. People are trying to take that damn hill. And they're fighting us and we're fighting back. I got it. This is police. Civilians, what they got? Bottles of urine? That's what they got. Rocks against armored cars and cops in riot gear? I'm all right with it. Not a problem. I'm totally right with it. I know it sounds bad. I'm okay with it. In the long run, this is my idea of you lose a battle, but you win the war. Lose the battle. Yeah, I bring this up all the time in Vietnam. Vietnam, we won almost every battle. I mean, we probably lost 2 battles in 10 years of fighting in Vietnam and lost the war. You know what? I'll lose a battle, win the war. QICC, if you head back to the post from yesterday, is my 4 quick plan to make actual change. So that's what quick is. Stands for ending qualified immunity, having cops carry their own insurance, taking cannabis off the Schedule 1, and I forgot my 4C, did I? And ending civil asset forfeiture. There we go. Good. Call my congressman and left a voicemail to become a co-sponsor of a Marsh's bill. Yes, absolutely. I love that. 100%. Yes. Quick reminder, 30 plus million people have been put out of work by the government. Yes, which is why so many can be in the streets, Pete. We set this up. Literally, we set this up. We said, let's take everyone out of work, sit at home, being bored, feeling useless, feeling powerless, feeling nothing, sitting home, scared, don't know what to do. And you know what? Now let's start publicly killing people. That'll work. Of course they came out in droves. Of course they stayed out all night. They're not going to work tomorrow. It's not like they got to be at work at 9 o'clock in the morning. What? Netflix will be there when they get back? No worries. So of course they stay out all goddamn day. They're getting paid by the government, unemployment, so they can be out there. The government's paying them to fight them. Pete, you're exactly right. And we're still mad and disgusted. And we set it up. And now we're mad. Crazy. Awesome show. I was worried about libertarian messaging, but not so much anymore. Thank you, Thomas. I'm trying to keep this going. Let your friends know too. Yes. How do we get through to people whose minds are already made up A lot of people aren't willing to listen to another point. They just rather spew their babble and feel self-righteous. Oh my God, Pat, yes, that's true. The people want to feel righteous. I get it. As a general rule, just be polite and move on. Out of 100 people in America, I'm making these numbers up about, give or take 40% don't care at all. Just want to have a job, just want to do what they want to do, just don't care at all. Couldn't care less. Whatever happens, happens. 60% are those who actually care, who want to get something done or have a political issue or concern, about 60% give or take. Out of that 60%, about 40% are 100% sold. I'm an R or a D, and that's it. I'm not hearing it. In today's world, that means I either love Trump and think Trump is the greatest thing ever, never makes an error, ever, or Trump is the evilest thing in the world, and he's the Antichrist, and he's the reason why the world's evil. Right? Those are two sides. Those two sides aren't going to hear us. It's that 60% in the middle. It's the 60% of the 60% that we have a shot of hearing us. That's who we have to go for. Those people will actually hear us. We need to talk to them. The rest, let them go. Don't be mad. I'm not mad if someone believes that Trump is great or that Trump is evil. I got it. It's what you think. No worries. Not mad at you. Okay. Do your thing. But the majority of Americans who vote don't actually think Trump is evil or Trump is great. They lean one way or the other. They go, Trump's not great, but he's better than Democrats. Or they go, Trump isn't evil, but Democrats are better. That's how most Americans who are voting think. There's a chunk who think he's the evilest thing in the world, and a chunk who think he never does wrong. He's the Pope of the Republican Party, right? Those two people, the groups we're not going to meet. We talk to the people in the middle who lean one way or the other. I think that's how we do it, Pat. Grow gardens, not governments. Antifa has no clear message. I think it's true. I think Antifa really are more activists than they are politicians. They don't really have much. I think it's right. Great. I voted for you in 2011. It's a little off topic, but I loved your plan on education for New York. Have you been able to get any of the legislators to buy into that plan at all, to bring up discussion for a vote to make progress in the state? We'll be running in 2022. Sorry for dress, just jumping in now. No worries, Jeff. No, the politicians do not want to change education at all. Their only answer is what His Majesty King Andrew Cuomo has said, which is put more money into education. And since COVID, you know what he's been saying? Our governor, he's been saying, take money out of it because we don't have any money anymore. All of a sudden, we don't have money. Who was talking about not having money in 2018? Me. Who was talking about cutting the budget? Me. Who was talking about other ways of funding it? Me. Who was talking about actually getting people to have better education? Me. Those are all gone. So you probably won't hear about it again until 2021 or 2022. If I run again, and as I said earlier, odds are I will, but I'm not promising. I don't know if I will. Depends if I think I can actually have impact. If I believe I can, then I would. And doing that, I'll bring it up all over again. If you go to LarrySharpe.com, all my policies still up. Oh, yeah. I'm ready for the next round. We're ready. We're ready for the next round. All my Larry Sharpe for Governor shirts, let's stick up more of them. Ready for the second round. Absolutely. That's round one. Second round coming. All right. Is it fair to say that gun-grabbing, pro-gun control folks have been completely refuted by all this craziness? No, I don't think so. I think people who are anti-gun are still anti-gun. I think people who are pro-gun are still pro-gun. I think some people in the middle have moved, though. I think some have, right? You have some who were like, maybe it is better if not only cops have guns. I think some have moved towards the pro-Second Amendment side. At a minimum, having things like, mace and tasers and stuff at a minimum to defend themselves, right? I think many have moved towards us, but no, I don't think it's anything has been completely refuted. I don't think so at all. I think most of the people who are strongly anti-gun are still anti-gun. And in my view, it seems crazy to say cops are bad, but only they should have guns. But I think you have that hypocrisy still happening. I do. Okay. Just remember, you can vote your way into communism, but you have to fight your way out. Yes, you do, Pete. Let's hope we don't go there. Let's hold it before that. Yes. Controversial question. Do you think most communists/liberals are female due to their caring tendencies, wanting to nanny/Karen everything? I'm not sure that's true. I don't know if that's true. Are most communists female? Liberals female? I don't know if that's true. So I don't know if that's an accurate question. Went to nanny or Karen or everything. Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. Are there statistically different emotions that women tend to have compared to men? Sure. Does that make them more communist or liberal? I don't know. I don't know. Good question. Maybe there's a think tank who might go down that road. I wish I could answer that question. I'm not even sure. Is there data that shows that there are more women are liberals or communists? All the communists that have taken over that I know have all been men. So maybe women follow them? I don't know. I wish I had a better answer for you. It's a controversial question. I'd happily answer it. I just don't know the answer. What disgusts me about politics is how fear is promoted. How can libertarians promote our message with hope? I try to all the time, Thomas. It's what I try to do consistently. I'm trying to always promote hope to the best, showing you how you can fix things. Here's how you do it. If you are a libertarian and you're an activist, activists promote policies, promote ideas, and get noticed. If you call yourself a politician, which I do, you have to have policies that show value, that promise something with logic. You can say, see, this can work. Watch this work. The more you promise, the better, right? People are talking about quick, right? It isn't the best thing in the world, but it's a plan. And if you got a better one, you can adjust it. Go, well, the Q is good, but it should be an I. Fine. Let's work on that. If you're working on my plan with me, we're both talking about the future. We're talking about hope, right? The idea that the other gentleman just brought up, K through 12, my K through 10 plan, right? K through 10. Great plan. Let's talk about that. People are still thinking about it. Regulate like onions, right? This is how we do it, by having ideas that move people to think about the future. That's what hope is. Not just going, government bad. Not good enough at all. And that's what libertarians often do. Government bad. You're a statist. That doesn't give hope at all. Hope is, here's a plan. I told about my way of getting homeless people to deal with the homeless problem, right? It was a plan. The 1/3 rent rule, right? Not a bad idea. Tiny homes, 1/3 rent, localized help. And then you rotate people through voluntarily who stay to help others, right? That's a hopeful plan. Oh, that would actually work. Homeless people who understand homeless people who would help each other. Not required to leave. Leave when they want to leave. Some will stay. I think that's how you do it. All right. Let's see. The fear cultivated over years fermented with COVID and isolation is a factor in the emotional explosion now. 100%, Michael. Yes. But how should we calm the mass and return focus to the overreach of government? Yeah, I think the answer is having a plan on how to make it better. Literally talking about, here is what I will do. Michael, by the way, is running for office, guys, in Broome County. So if you guys want to support Michael in Broome County, please head on over there. Check out Michael Vass. He's running and he will have plans, I'm sure. I know Michael will have plans. So have plans on how we make that next step. Just saying, get back in your cell is the wrong answer. And too many people, particularly mayors now, you think mayors wouldn't be doing that, but they are. Get back in your cell, which is going to, what you just said, Michael, is going to cultivate, the isolation. It's going to cultivate the fear. It's the exact opposite. Instead say, guys, I hear you. I hear you. You yelled and screamed. I heard you. You can stop yelling and screaming now. You can stop burning stuff now. I hear you. You wanted my attention. You got it. You got my attention. Let's now discuss what our next steps are. Let's fix this. And the problem is we're so concerned about keeping the system running, we're not concerned about making a better system. And that's the issue. So I think that's how we come, by saying, I hear you. Here are some plans. I think that's what Justin Amash did, saying, look, I got a plan, see? That's what I did, saying, look, I got a plan, see? Give us a plan. I think we'll start coming down. People want to be heard. They want to feel like they matter. And when you lock people in their homes for 3 months, and call them non-essential, what do you expect? Yeah. I didn't stop voting until I learned about libertarianism. Yay. Good. All right. Let's see if I can find this too. Let's see. I'm running for lieutenant governor of Washington as a libertarian candidate. Awesome. Freedomfighter.shop. There we go. Go on with your bad stuff. I love it. Our leaders aren't capable of leading with compassion, it shows. Ryan, you've hit a home run there again. Yes. You can have compassion and still be strong, right? Compassion doesn't equal weakness. In fact, often yelling and screaming equals weakness. Compassion can be strength. You absolutely can be both. Why not? You can care about people and be strong. You absolutely can. And that's what we're missing. We're missing empathy, right? Empathy isn't sympathy, and empathy isn't weakness. Empathy is just understanding where someone's coming from and then trying to make things better. We can do this. Totally correct. Can government go door to door to enforce law X? Yes. And the cops are the foot soldiers of the government to do it. Yes. Absolutely. 100%. Sherry, voting red blue has bankrupted our country. Yes, it has. Yeah. So, Sherry, let's stop that. Let's go gold instead. I love that. Yes. All right. Governor on the way. The whole state needs Larry. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. The whole country needs Larry. Maybe 2024. Maybe. We'll see. Maybe. Yes. All right. What can I do to advance liberty in my community? I who work full-time with the family. I get it. This can be tough. Two things to think about. Do you have more time than money? Do you have more money than time? Now, with COVID, there's a lot of people who used to have more money than time that now have more time than money. Or is it equal for you? It's very simple to be forward with you. If you have more money than time, donate. That's the answer, right? If you've got lots of money and not much time, throw someone some cash, find someone locally, look for your county and LP or your state LP and tell your state LP, hey, I want to help out. I've got some cash. Who do I donate to? And your state LP will be happy to show you who's running in your area or directly to the state itself. And my opinion is do a monthly donation, right? Can you do $10 a month, $20 a month, $100 a month? I'm a lifetime member of the National LP and I still give monthly to the LP. Every month I give money to the LP on a rotating basis. I mean, every month I give. So I still do that. So that is, if you've got more money than time, that is your answer. Do that and donate to somebody and do it monthly. So that always getting some cash, something to move things forward. Simple way. But you have more time than money. No worries. Volunteer. Many ways of volunteering. You can be a social media warrior. That's justice too. Social media warrior. You can do door knocking for them, phone calling for them. When you volunteer time, here's the most important thing. Always agree to less first. Don't go, well, I'll give you a full day. Then you don't do it and everybody's unhappy. Agree to a couple hours a week. That's it. Say, hey, guy, gal, I'll give you 2 hours a week. When do you need me? I need you Saturday, 12 to 2. Good. That's when you do your work. If you now can do more, give more. If you can't, just give 2 hours a week. There are tons of local candidates and tons of local affiliates who would love for you to give them 2 hours a week. Love it. Jump through hoops for that. If you have a little bit of both, Give $10 a month. Fine. And an hour a week. Fine. Right? If you're personally good at something, take that skill set and give it to your local community, your local affiliate. Right? Say you're good at writing. You're a good writer. Write press releases for them. Do 1 a month, 2 a month, whatever the case. Give them. I'll give you 2 a month. Write 2 press releases and email them out. You're a good organizer. Great. Organize their monthly event. Right? You're good at marketing. Great. Market their website. Right? If you're good at something, you have a skill set, give them that, but be very clear on what you're going to give them. Specific, so they can accept it and you can accept it. And if you can give out more later, give out more later. Hope that was helpful. But always go, by the way, to your local LP, your state LP. Do not go to national. Go to state LP. State LP. Not against national, but if you just want to help out, always start local, then go bigger. Right? Start local. I started local. I was first a member of Queens, then of Manhattan because I worked in Manhattan, then the state, then I was a member of national. Go in order. Local matters tremendously. Start local and then go up. Hope that was helpful. Good. So why aren't elected officials except Amash offering solutions? Well, why? When they can use this, Craig, to attack the other guy. Why offer a solution? Because then when something goes wrong, you can blame the other guy. And then you have to vote for me because it's left or right. The other guy's worse than I am. I don't have to make solutions. In the duopoly paradigm, solutions aren't required. All that's required is I'm not the other guy. That's all that's required. So as long as things are bad happening and we can then blame the other, I'm good. That's all that matters. That's why it doesn't make any sense. It only makes sense to have plans and options when you're the third party, when you're the third guy in the ring. That's us. It's totally unfair. Totally unfair and true. Totally unfair and true. Yes. There are Democrats and Republicans who want to be more in a move libertarian direction, but can't because their party would abandon them. That's very true, and I think Amash saw that happen to him exactly. So let's get more of them over, right? The way we can get more people to come to the Libertarian Party, and here's the issue. The reason why they get abandoned is because literally they tell them, where are you going to go? You can't run if you don't run Republican Democrat. So if you move libertarian leaning, you're a Democrat, you're not going to go Republican. So they go, bye. What are you going to do? Worst you do is be independent? It's not a fear. They don't care. But what if there was actually a strong libertarian party, right? A strong libertarian party that if you were liberty leaning, you could actually pack up and go. The Democratic Party would have to have more room for liberty leaning Democrats because they'd actually be able to go someplace and beat them. Now, realistically, they don't, right? Realistically, we don't beat Democrats, Republicans statistically, right? I mean, here or there we do, but it's not a real threat to them, particularly nationally. It's not a threat at all. So the stronger our party is, the more people will come to make us stronger, and the more people threaten to come if when they're liberty leaning, their party goes, get out. Okay, I'll go. Libertarians waiting for me. And they'll get me elected. So I think you're right, Pamela. The problem is we aren't strong enough yet. We've got to get stronger. It's what I keep talking about. We've got to support each other, stop fighting so much, not have purity tests for every single person who walks in that door, grow bigger, better, stronger, faster, and build infrastructure. And more people will come to us. We need a leader in this state who cares about the entire state. I live in Western New York, and we see nothing positive from Cuomo. Sharpe for governor. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, Mike. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you. All right. Hi, Larry. Hope you're well. What are your thoughts on lobbyism? Lobbying is a problem. It's a massive problem. And there are two ways that you deal with that. The first one is simplify the tax code. Simplify the tax code, whether it's some form of, I know people get mad when I say it because people get mad about whatever flat, whether it's some type of a flat tax or fair tax or any kind of tax you want to make. I'm happy if it just gets simpler. If you simplify the tax code, then a huge chunk of lobbyists go away because a bunch of lobbyists are trying to change the tax code in their organization or in their industry's favor. Simplify it so those loopholes don't exist. A whole bunch of lobbying goes away. Not all of it, obviously, but a bunch of it does. That's the first step. Simplify tax code. Second, we've got to stop treating organizations as people. Companies are not people. Should not be people. Should never be people. That was a terrible idea. That whole idea has got to go away. If that idea goes away, now these large groups can't donate money. Only individuals can, which I'm fine with that. But then lobbying begins to go away because now it's individuals. Changes everything. So those two things you can make lobbyists decrease completely. But should I not be able to spend money on a cause that I care about? I should. It's my money. I should be able to spend it. The question is, are you doing it behind closed doors? Is it through shadow groups? Is it just to get tax breaks for your guys and not mine? Different issue. So, is a libertarian ticket going to be allowed in the national vice presidential president debates? I doubt it. I said off the bat, I doubt it. I think, remember something. It's about ad revenue. We have to have a ticket that can knock it out of the park. That people will go there and go, oh my God, it's Kim Kardashian and Kanye West running for president and vice president, right? So like that will do it. Otherwise, I don't think so. We have to have enough cash and excitement, buy enough ads, be out there. I don't see it. I wish they would. I hope so. I don't see it. I think we might get a town hall. We might get that. CNN town hall, that kind of thing. If we knock it out of the park 2-3 times in a row, maybe we get in the debate stage. I haven't seen it. But I would hope so. I just think we won't. I did cover already the homeless issue earlier. If you go back earlier, I talked about it. So I hope that was clear. All right. It's Dems, Republicans. Either way, they're going to keep pushing their agenda for the police surveillance state, and they're going to say what people actually want to. Yeah, you're right. There's no difference. Yes, there's no difference. Would you consider running both on a Libertarian and Republican ticket? Don't think you can get on the Democratic ticket line with King Cuomo's cronies. Yeah, no way I can get on the Democratic line. That's for sure. That ain't going to happen. That's a fantasy. Republican line, maybe. I mean, I'm open to the ideas of those things. here are my concerns and reasons why I wouldn't, would be I want to make sure libertarians maintain ballot access. So I would have to feel sure that libertarians can get enough votes on the libertarian line as governor. So that would have to be, I'd have to be sure of that. I have to believe that I have a chance of victory. There are a lot of things. I'm not against it, but I'd have to have a lot of other things be true before I'd get there. It isn't just a yes. It isn't that simple, John. I need to make sure that the party is taken care of and that other things are in line. I'd consider it. I would consider it. Last time I would have considered it, but all those have to be true. And I'm not doing it as no matter what, I'm not doing it as a lieutenant governor. They wanted me to be the lieutenant governor in 2018. I was like, nope, I can lose all by myself. And I proved them right. I did. So yes. If Dems were more classical liberal, we could be better off. I agree. Exactly. I'm okay bringing Democrats and Republicans closer to us. I'd love them to all be libertarians, but I would be fine if I just had more liberty-leaning Democrat Republicans. Okay, I'll take that as a start, and let's keep moving. I'm okay. So, what message do you think it sends to New Yorkers and nationally that a city like New York had to enforce a curfew because our mayor is so ineffective? All the cities are doing it, Brittany. I don't think it's just us. I think it says that the system matters more than people. Whether you're Democrat or Republican, you will still shoot your own. You will still use the power of government to enforce anything on your citizens. You will use your armed militarized police force to attack unarmed citizens. You'll do that without question. You see it all over, running them over, attacking them, shooting them. That's what it says. Yes. So, see if I can find a couple. Hold on. Let's see here. How can I help message of liberty be spread in my community? I expressed that one already. Yep. Where can I buy a tank? I assume Amazon. That'd be my assumption, Michael. That's good. Begin to like that. Yes. Good. Just subscribe to you on YouTube. Everyone should follow Dave's example. Dave is right. You should all subscribe to me on YouTube. Sharpe Way YouTube. Please go there now. The Sharpe Way YouTube and subscribe. Thank you, Dave, for being awesome. Thank you. All right. I hate to say this, but maybe this is the time to get people on board with the Libertarian Party. I don't hate to say it. I'm with you. Yes. Let's do that. I'm totally on board. Let's go out of our way to get people on the Libertarian Party. Now, I agree. The more we do this, the better. Absolutely. Let's get them on board. All right. War is a continuation of politics by other means. Yeah, it is, but you've got to win the peace. I can't say that enough. You've got to win the peace. It can't just be winning the actual war. It's also got to be winning the peace. That's the issue, you know? Let's see. How influential do you think the recent success of SpaceX will be for the privatization of other aspects of our economy? I think it's not a bad idea. I like the idea of SpaceX doing well. Often what happens, it begins the beginning of privatization, which why I don't talk about privatization, by the way, because again, another evil capitalism word, right? I think the idea is you allow to break the monopoly of government, right? So government's doing it. We also allow SpaceX to do it. And we allow someone else to do it, right? And as they begin to work together, we begin to say, oh, this is not so bad. This is okay. We feel okay about it. The example I give is the post office and FedEx and, UPS. We allow that we're okay. So the UPS guy, okay, he's just like the letter carrier. Okay, we're okay. I think that's how you get people into that. So I love the idea of SpaceX. I think it works very well. All right. How does Joe Jorgensen build momentum and name recognition when fear is an all-time high? I don't know. I think you have to talk to the Jorgensen campaign. I'm sure they're thinking about that more than anything. I'm sure they're all on that idea right now, trying to make things better and stronger and faster. I'm sure they are. I don't really know. We'll see. Always a sharp conversation. Thank you. I try very much to be as sharp as I can. When do you think the current riot/protest run out of steam? The problem is we have nothing to do, right? We're not going back to work, right? So we've got to either open up our economy so we have a reason to go back to work, or someone's going to come up and say, hey, I have an answer. I think until that happens, this is going to be like Occupy New York. Occupy Wall Street. People's going to keep hanging around, just kind of keep hanging around. until we get mad about, COVID and all that kind of good stuff. I think it's gonna be long until someone actually does something. Yeah. So with the riots now, when the lockdown's lifted, there will be no stores or parks to go to. God, I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong. So I need to do keto, but that sugar is a hard drug to kick. Yes, it is, William. It is. Sugar and carbs is hard to kick. It took me more than a year to really make it my lifestyle. I've been on it now 10 years. But it took a while. I did it for several months. I had a bad reason why I did it. I was in a bad spot in my life was why I did it. I was putting on weight. I was eating my feelings. I was in a really bad spot. And that was the answer for me. But when I finally got it down, it took me about a year, maybe 9 months until I felt like, no, this is who I am. Now I hardly miss them. I hardly miss. People can have pizza and soda in front of me. I don't care. Sweets, cakes. I don't care anymore. It doesn't do anything anymore. I'm rarely hungry. I almost never snack. It's a great way of living. I wish I'd done it 20, 30 years ago. I wish I had. I'm very happy I've done it. It was exactly the right answer for me. And I sometimes will, like I'll say on my birthday or my daughter's birthday or Christmas or something, I go, you know what? Today I'm going to have some cake. And I'll eat carbs for a day or half a day, whatever. And then I'll go right back to my lifestyle again. I'll be off for a day. If I go too far, like I'll go 2 or 3 days, if I have to do that, I feel terrible. I feel bloated. I feel horrible. I have no energy. I start getting hungry again. And it shows me, don't do this, right? So if you're on a keto lifestyle for enough time and you decide to go on carbs, and I did it maybe 3 years ago, I don't know why. I guess I was hungry. I don't know what it was, but my kids brought home a bunch of candy from Halloween. And I went on a candy binge with my kids. Carb overload. I just eating everything I could possibly eat. We're all eating candy and laughing and having fun and eating all their candy. It was amazing. A lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. A lot of fun. But I felt like someone had hit me in the stomach with a bat, and then in the head with a bat, and then in the face with a bat, and then in the back with a bat. I felt horrible for the rest of the next day. So I was like, no more. I had a carb coma. Couldn't get out of bed. No energy. It was terrible. So anyway, yes, you should kick it. It's good to get rid of all those bad sugars, but hard. So let's see if I can keep going. No, I don't like avocado toast. Not my thing. Obviously, it's toast. It's water. Yes. We go back to people hiding out in communes like cults, like Waco, because no justice. Yeah. It's, Pamela, you may be an issue. I think you're right. You may find people falling in more because they're worried that the outside community isn't working. Yeah. People looking for a savior of some way, of some style. Yes, absolutely. All right. Let's see. Can we be labeled next to terrorist group individually or by party affiliation? Of course we can. Of course we can. That's another reason to hate the Patriot Act, is that you can now target Americans as terrorists. Yes, absolutely. 100%. Voter-driven revolution. I'm in. Yes, let's do that. I think it's a great idea. All right. Chicago police must have loved their police radio when they started playing NWA. Yeah, I guess so. Yes. That's very funny. Yes. Civil disobedience is very strong, Teresa. I completely agree. It's what Gandhi said, right? They talked about, Gandhi and him being civil disobedient and him arresting him and beating him. And they said, what if they kill you? He said, they can beat me, they can arrest me, and they can even kill me. He said, and if they kill me, they will have my broken body, but they still won't have my compliance. They'll never get my compliance unless I give it to them, ever. They'll never get my compliance unless I give it to them. They can beat me, they can kill me, and they can have my broken body. That they can have, but they'll never get my compliance unless I give it to them. They'll never get my obedience. And I agree. It's the strength that we have. I agree completely. Yes. Let's see. See if I can grab some of these. Did we already forget the backdoor meeting Obama had with Merkel? I don't know what that's about. Sorry, guys. Don't know what that's about. All right. Larry, love you. Any better time than not to run for president? Yeah, 4 years from now. That's the better time. How about that? That's the better time, 4 years from now. Look, guys, I know some of you want me to run for president, but let me be clear. If I'm going to run, I'm going to run like I ran for governor. I'm going to run a year and a half early. You know how hard it is to somehow cross the country and raise the millions of dollars required to win in 6 months? It's virtually impossible. Not 100%, but virtually. I had to do this in running New York State. By the time I got to the convention in April when I was getting nominated, I had already raised 6 figures. I'd already had a press reel. I'd already had all of that already, right? I was ready to rock and roll by the time I got to convention. So there's no way, if I'm running for president for 2024, I'm starting 2023. I will have to raise $1 million, and that's no exaggeration, before I get nominated by my own party. Otherwise, what am I doing? What am I wasting my time? So I can, if I just want to get my name out there, I got a show already for that. I'm fine. If I just want to talk about an issue, then I'll be an activist. I don't need to run for office to do that. I'll just be an activist instead. If I'm going to run for office, I want to make impact. So to answer your question, Edward, I would say 2024 is better if I can begin running in 2023 to raise the money required, build a team required, have a team in every single state in the United States, be able to get press, be able to have a machine that will work. It is a machine that if I do this, I'm going to have a chance of victory. If I can't win 3, 4, 5 states, what am I doing? What am I doing? Wasting my time? Wasting your time? No. I want to win at least 3, 4, 5 states if I run. Otherwise, what am I doing? If I win that many states, that puts us on the map, that gets us more than 5%, and it may get us the White House. It may get us the White House. So that's what I want to do. That's the best I run for president, when I have a chance at making impact and winning. All right. Let's see if I can get some more down here. Thank you for your thoughts on homelessness. Yes, there's absolutely a plan. I'll give you the best example I can give you of government screwing up this when it comes to homeless. In New York State, there was actually a vehicle that was going around, and it had showers and new fresh clothes for the homeless. Again, if you get to a point where you want to get yourself out of homelessness, if you get mentally to that point, all right, I got to get out of this. I want to go home to my family or my friends. I want to get a job or whatever is the next step for you. Hard to do that if you haven't showered in 3 weeks and you haven't changed your clothes in 3 weeks. Tough, almost impossible. So that this place will go by and people will go in and free clothes, free shower. Just stop by, get a shower, change your clothes. Go back out. Even if you're going to stay homeless, at least be clean, some hygiene, feel like a human being again. Get out there and do that. Feel like you're part of society. Do that. If you want to get a job, if you want to go on a job interview, go back to your family and try something, go ahead. City shut them down because of parking violation issues. Can't do it. Nope. New York State said can't do it. What was the answer? Shelters, which we know don't work. I'm not about that at all. Not about that. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can grab a couple more here. We need to try to teach people alternative solutions and ideas. Yes, Josh, 100%. Trying to call names of correct people just causes them to shut down and ignore alternatives. 100% yes. When we're talking to them, let's start with the end game. What are we trying to achieve? What do we agree with? We agree upon this? Awesome. We agree on this. That's great. Now, how do we get there? How do we get there? Let's agree where we want to go first. Absolutely. Yes. All right. See if I can keep going. New York will be the most gold state soon. I'm calling it early. Thank you, Myron. I hope you're right. I hope we are the most gold state. And let's hope in 2022 we go gold. And then 2024, we go totally gold. That'd be amazing. Imagine if the least free state in the union, ranked by Cato twice in a row, becomes the first gold state and stays gold. Amazing. Absolutely. All right. Let's see if I can keep going. When you have a police force looking like a military force, that's a problem. Yes. When you treat your own country like you're occupying Afghanistan, you will turn your own country into Afghanistan. I don't want to live in Afghanistan. I want to live in Afghanistan. I'd move to Afghanistan. I don't want to do that. Absolutely. Yes. They are not civilians at that point. They are now enemy combatants. Horrible. Oh my God, I don't want that. Horrible. Larry, I'm the libertarian living on Long Island. Who wants to get involved with spreading the message? What advice do you have for me? John, if you live on Long Island, there's both a Nassau and a Suffolk County LP. I would go to there. Go to them and say, hey, I want to get involved. Right? I want to get involved. One of the guys who's running Liberty Caster in Nassau is Kevin Wormold. Go to him. Then, of course, is Michael McDermott, who's out on Suffolk County. Go to him. Chat with either of those two people. Chat with them and say, hey, I want in. They're happy to give you work to do. Happy to. Yes. We need more stories of police officers laying down their helmets and batons and marching with protesters. Yes. Paul, you're on fire tonight. Yes. 100% yes. Right? The issue is once the cops start saying, I don't want to shoot my own people. I don't want to hit my own people. I don't want to beat up people in my own neighborhood. I don't want to do this anymore. That's when we start winning. That's when people go, oh, they're actually humans. Yes, cops aren't just evil people. They're just people. So that's great. And then the cops go, oh, these protesters aren't just evil people. They're just people. We humanize each other and we can move forward. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Edward, I don't think we fought hard enough when you ran for governor. Not you, is. Yes, Edward, I think it's true. And what I mean by that is not to make anybody upset, but some of you don't know this. And this is why I know this so well and I speak of this. When I asked people for support and money, there were a lot of heavy hitter libertarians who told me no. And I got upset. I was angry. I was like, why? I'm out here busting my rump. Why the hell aren't you giving me money? Why aren't you supporting me? Why aren't you, putting me in your newspapers? Why aren't you doing this? And they said literally to me, Larry, I love you, but I've been disappointed so often. So often. Everyone says they're going to win. They're going to do well, whatever. Yeah. That's what I mean when I say donor burnout. When I say volunteer or activist burnout. They've heard people talk trash forever, which is why you keep hearing me tell people, stop with the vanity runs. They're not helpful. They're encouraging donor burnout. They're encouraging activist burnout. They're encouraging volunteer burnout. I don't want the burnout. But many of them afterwards, after I lost, were like, damn, Larry, I should have supported you. Yeah, should have. It's okay. Maybe in the future you can. So I think I'll get a whole lot more support if I run again because people saw I actually ran a real hardcore campaign. I think the volunteers will come back, at least I hope they will, because they saw we ran a hardcore campaign and we'll have even more support this time and more people on board earlier. I think we can do it again if we do it again. There is some valid to that, but I'm not mad about it anymore. I was mad then. I was like, oh, these guys just screwing me over, blah, blah. In fact, something that many of you may not know, there were a lot of people who promised they would support me when I ran. Promised they would. And then when I ran, they went, oh, no, I'm not supporting you. And I said, but you told me you would. You told me you'd give me this. You told me you'd give me that. You told me you'd be there for me. And they went, no, I told you I'd support you if you run as a Republican. That was shocking to me. I didn't know that's how the game was played, right? I thought, no, you want to grow the party and blah, blah, blah. There were a bunch of people who were like, oh, we love you, Larry. We're going to support you. Then I ran. And they were like, well, you're not a Republican. I was like, that's correct. I'm libertarian. Didn't we know this already? Well, yeah. We know you're libertarian, but we thought you'd run as Republican. I was like, why would I do that when I'm a libertarian? Why would I run as something I'm not? I don't get that. And they were like, no, only as Republican. I wasn't going to run as Republican in 2018 for sure, because I'd have never got ballot access if I'd done that. And I would have had to run as a as lieutenant governor anyway. Republicans only wanted me to be a lieutenant governor. So either way, it would have been a no. In fact, if they had told me, I wouldn't have run Republican either way. I wouldn't have done it no matter what. So anyway, I think you're right. Hopefully next time is better. So let's see if I keep going here. There are a lot of them. Let's see if I keep going. I said a while back, New York is in such shambles. So much distrust in the government. Libertarians should focus and take what's ours. I agree. I talked about all these problems a long time ago, and just now it's all coming to roost, right? I talked about the idea of the pensions going away, school system broken. I'm talking about all these things already. And now, finally, we're getting it. Yes. Gary Jacobs, Long Island Backstory, said you were one of the greatest guests he had in the show. Oh, I love Gary. I'm so glad. Yes. I took up an issue that most people wouldn't take up. I took up the issue of family law. And most people will not touch it. Because when you jump on family law, one, it's a big problem. People get upset, right? It's your family. Touchy without question. And many people think if you're backing fathers in any way, that means you're anti-woman. I'm not in any way, shape, or form. I'm pro-family, and I want the family together. And I want kids to be close to their mothers and fathers to the best of their ability, whatever that is, right? And so I'm not anti either, but there's a risk you take. And not just that. You know, when you deal with the idea of fathers' rights in any way, shape, or form, most of the people who are battered in New York State Family Court, most of them are men. Women too, don't get me wrong. The system is pro deadbeat dad, which means if there is a deadbeat dad and there's a good mom, the mom gets punished because it supports deadbeat dad. If there's a good dad, he gets punished like a deadbeat dad. So the good dad gets punished, and the mom who's deadbeat dad also gets punished. So it's all about helping deadbeat dad. That's the problem with the family law system in New York State. I'm assuming other places also, but I know New York State for sure. So when you say you want to help fathers, many people think, oh, you want to help out deadbeat dads. But here's the worst part. If you're a father hammered in the family law system, do you have any money to donate to candidates? No. Your money either went to lawyers or your money's going to your family. You don't have money for me. I knew that. And most politicians know that. So they don't bother going after that because there's no money in it. And I know that sounds horrible, but it's true, which is why most politicians won't touch it. There's no money in it. But I touched it because it was important. It mattered. So I supported them, even though there was no money in it. But some are very good. Some of them still would show up to my events. And those of you who did, thank you so much. I know many of the fathers who had no money, who couldn't afford anything, still went out of their way and showed up to my events. Thank you so much. Please keep doing that. That was so important. Showing up was everything. This goes back to what I was talking about. If you have more time than money, give me time. You got more money than time? Give me money. Give me what you got more of. And if you're a dad getting your rump handed to you in the family court, you got more time than money. So give me some time. Show up to my events, and we're good. We're good. Show up to my event, we're good. So thank you for that. Hi, Larry. I was away for a bit. Just wondering if you saw my question about lobbyism. Yes, and I covered it. You missed it. Yes, you missed it. Yes. So we're going to cover it now. No. Thank you anyway. No. Thank you anyway. Yes. Should we start grant visas to possible immigrants from Hong Kong? It's a great question. What do you do about Hong Kong, right? I don't want to put too much focus on Hong Kong if it's taking focus away from this. There are a lot of people talking about Hong Kong as a way to go, oh, look over there. Don't worry about our cities burning, right? So as long as we've still got both, we're good. Our cities are burning. Let's make sure we deal with that. And Hong Kong has a problem. And I think absolutely the best way of dealing with problems in other nations is to have a very good immigration system to get those people to our country. If those people come to our country, then one, they're obviously hardcore trying to work. Good, come have the American dream. And they have every right to support their family and friends in Hong Kong without us having to drop bombs on Hong Kong or fight China or go to war with China or do a, or do a Cold War with China. Don't do that. Instead, let the dissidents come to us. That's even better. Then they can fight their own stuff with their own issues in their own way, but the rest of us being screwed. So yeah, I love the idea. Let them come. 100%. Let them come. Happy to do it. Let's get some nice visas out there. Bring them on over. Chinese get pissed off. The Chinese are going to crush Hong Kong anyway. I wish there was a way around it. The best way we can do is what you just said, Josh. Let them come in. Love it. And if I'm president, they start hammering Hong Kong. I said going, you know what I think I might do? I think I might recognize Taiwan tomorrow. That's what I do. I play a diplomatic game. I'm the president. That's what I do. I go, I might recognize Taiwan tomorrow. You can't recognize Taiwan. I guess you got to pull your tanks out of Hong Kong, huh? So I'm saying, you start hammering Hong Kong because Hong Kong's still part of China. That makes me think you want to hammer Taiwan too. I think Taiwan's about to become a country. I'm about to build an embassy in Taiwan. That's how I handle that. Diplomat. You take you put the gloves back on in Hong Kong. I forget Taiwan exists. We're fine. That's how you save Hong Kong if you can. And no matter what, bring the visas in. There's ways of dealing with this issue without having to yell and scream and rate it and shake my fist at people. We don't have to do Cold Wars. My biggest issue is we're gonna have a proxy war now with China somewhere in Africa, right? It's gonna be we're gonna stop funding African warlords to fight each other over China, just so we can make China the enemy like we did in Vietnam. Terrible idea. Sorry. Okay. Do you have any solutions for financially surviving the second wave of Corona shutdown? Yeah. Open up now and show us what protocols to use so that we can be safe. Out of 100,000 people who've died of coronavirus, 80% were senior citizens. 80% were senior citizens over 65. About 40% of all the people who died, maybe 45%, were in nursing homes. Let's think about that. Those are stats. I didn't make them up. Check them out yourself if you want to. Oh my God. Do that? Now things change. Just deal with that issue. Understand if you're over 65, you probably don't want to start doing this when the second wave comes. And if you're in a nursing home, extra, triple, quadruple precautions. And then social distancing when the time comes. We will have very few deaths, very few sicknesses. We absolutely know. How do I know that? It's called Sweden. They learned the same issues. They now have protocols. They're prepared for a second wave. That's how we deal with it. Good. Look at that Sharpe Way hoodie in the mail. Aaron, you're the best. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. Good. Yes. Larry, if you were governor of New York, how would you deal with de Blasio in a situation in New York City? I'm going to start talking to him. That's an open conversation. What I can take over, I would take over. What I can't, I can't. Localize. I talked about localization, and I would. A lot of New Yorkers are happy with de Blasio's doing. A lot of New Yorkers are. They're like, yes, shut us down more. You want to do that? Shut them down. But does that mean I should have, the Hudson Valley shut down? Does that mean Long Island should shut down? Does that mean Western New York should shut down? No. It means the people in Brooklyn want to be locked up in their cells. Okay. People in Queens will be locked up in your cells. Lock yourselves up. That's how I deal with it, Brittany. I allow local people to be local people. That's the issue. That's what I want people to be doing. So I remember Joe Rogan talking about how his previously anti-gun friend was suddenly asking him how to get guns. Yeah, I think some of the people who are on the middle, I think they shift it towards. I think we did get some moving towards pro-gun. I believe we did. We got some. I don't think it's crystal clear, but I do think we got there. Fear. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. There we go. Mentioned buying firearms. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. I'm not running now. Guys, stop. Yes. I'm not running now. Yes. Yes. Yeah, but the enlightenment piece, I like this. People have to find some significant emotional event that makes them think something differently. I hope it's this. Look, I hate the fact that George Floyd is dead. That's horrible. I wish he wasn't dead. I can't bring him back. I wish I could. If I could bring him back, I would. Of course, most of us would. Of course. But I can't. All I can do is hope that his death will be more powerful than just another stat. If that means people become more pro-2A, if that means people become less worried about, more worried about government overreach, if that means we have better cops and better policing, then thank you, George, for sacrificing your life for us. I know you didn't mean to. I know you didn't want to. I know it was wrong and it was stolen from you. I know. Thank you. Thank you. If you make it better. And I hope he does. I hope he does. Yes. I keep hearing about the New World Order. Do you think it's real? Just another crazy conspiracy theory. I don't think that the theories are crazy. I don't. I get why people see it, but I think they are just theory. I don't think, this is going to sound so dumb, but I'm going to be very forward. I don't think government is savvy enough to create something like this. I think it's just falling into it. I think it's just falling into it, and we're starting to control things, and it's starting to happen. I don't think the government planned COVID. I don't believe that. I don't think that it's savvy to do so. I think it happened like, oh, good. Let's take advantage of it now. Come on. I think it's happening, and people are taking advantage of it and growing as fast as they can to gain their own power. And of course, fear, right, gives us more and more power. So I think it's just happening. I don't think it's actually a theory. I don't think it's actually a plan. I'm sorry. I don't think it's a plan. I think it's just happening. And people are taking advantage of what's happening. Oh, there it is. I'll take that. I don't think it's planned. I don't trust government to do it. I just don't. I don't think they're that savvy. It's a bunch of people. They fail at so many things. Why would they all of a sudden be good at this? Right? I don't know. All right. Let's see if I can keep going. So you bought ammo with stimulus money. I love that. Stimulus rifles. Good. Love the tiny home idea. Many of those were illegal due to code regulations. Yes, they are. You have to get rid of those regulations, but that's my point. You've got to end those unnecessary regulations because they're not required, right? The problem with those regulations is they stop the homeless person from feeling at home, from making that step from being homeless to having a tiny home and then moving up and out to another type of home. Some people are going to want to stay in that tiny home for a decade. Some will. So what? I'm okay with that. If that person is safe and happy and helping others in his or her community, what do I care? Stay there for 10 years. Okay. Better than being on the street, not being safe. You give 1/3. If you're there, now you have an address. If you have an address, you can get services. If you can get services, you can get help. Not just that, 1/3 of your income now goes to them because you'll get a government check. 1/3 will go to them. What can I do? They can return a check or not. Nonprofit, what can I do with it? Nothing but good. It helps people rotate through and get out. Less and less and less homeless. And of course, if it's some of an apartment complex or some type of housing, units, then you can actually have people who want to help them very close, either in the same building in the basement or in a building in the middle of the complex, any of those things. Many people, as you know, if you know people in the homeless world, many of them won't go get help. They just won't, even if it's right there. But some will. Some will. And as those begin to go get help, they'll go back to others and go, dude, you should go. I did. It was good. You should go. And eventually this guy will go, you know what? I'll go. And more will get help. And more will get help. And more will get help. And some people will need a lot of help. Statistically, you have a lot of, again, compared to the non-homeless population, a lot of mental illness. So if you're mentally ill, do you want to get help? Maybe not. But if you see others doing it out of community, well, they're all going. Maybe I should go. Boom. You start getting help too. So, yes. Yes, love seeing the police and deputies join the demonstrations. We got to keep doing that, 100%. So, libertarian leaders, gold tape in place of red tape. Look at that. Oh, we are knocking out of the park today. All kind of good stuff we're doing. I love that. Yes. Larry, if you're elected, how would you make it easier for Tim O'Connor and every American con to do business in New York? I'm going to tell you number one thing. I'm going to end the insurance board in New York State. New York State is the only state that has a separate insurance board. That insurance board trashes us like there's no tomorrow. Second, we got to end the scaffolding laws. No scaffolding laws. It's silly, unnecessary. They make everything more expensive. And then third, you shouldn't have to have two sets of workers' comp. Right now you have two sets. You should only have one. It should be an option. Right now in New York State, you have to buy workers' comp for damage, accidents on the job and off the job. New York State requires that. It's insane. On the job, of course. Of course, on the job. Of course. But you, as an employer, should decide if you want to offer that as a bonus or not. Your choice, Tim. Your choice. Those are three things you do right away. Make it easier for contractors to do their work in New York State. Hope I answered your question. Yes. Let's see. When is a point when a good person is politics that they become compromised? Is it like Hollywood where you get a casting couch situation, play ball or bye-bye? Yeah, look, I think there is a point when people, I see it in people running, right? I see it in people running. The amount of people I met, the amount of politicians I met when I was running who hate their constituents was embarrassing how many did. They hate them. I mean, hate them. But I kind of understand why in a way because people always attack them. So I kind of get that piece. But yeah, but give libertarians a chance. We're not big enough to be corrupt yet. We can't be compromised yet. We're too small. Give us 20 years. Then we'll be as corrupt as the rest of them. You can throw us out and make the new party. So I don't think there is a play ball or bye-bye. What I think there is, and I see it in politics all the time, even libertarians, once you start to run, people start calling you great and amazing and awesome, and you start believing the hype. Luckily, I've had my butt kicked and I've fallen on the ground more than once. I've lost everything. And so I realize I'm not so great. I know that fate will punch anybody in the face. No matter how cool you think you are, no matter how smart you think you are, fate will just smack you down and kick you in the face. Whenever fate decides to do so, it will just do it. So none of us are that great. So when people tell me how awesome I was, I didn't believe the hype. And I still don't. So if I need some vanity, I got a show. That's my vanity. I'm good. I don't need to go any further. But other people who don't do that, they jump on board and people tell them, oh, you're great. You're going to win. You're amazing. They start believing it. They start thinking, well, as long as I win, now things will be great because I'm the special chosen one. So if I start cutting corners or being corrupt, it's okay because I'm the cool one. I think that's what happens more than anything else. I don't think there's a casting couch piece. I think the individual person begins to believe their own hype, and they start thinking that if I'm corrupt, it's okay because it's me. I think I'm the exception to the rule, and I can't be corrupted. I say all the time when I teach my classes on influence and leadership, I say one of the ways to realize and to protect yourself from being influenced or fooled is to realize you can be influenced or fooled. If you don't think you can, that's when you get influenced and fooled because you think you're too smart. Everyone listening, me included, none of us are too smart. None of us. We can all be influenced. We can all be compromised. We can all believe our own hype. We can all fail. And no matter how awesome we think we are, fate will decide one day to smack us down, and we'll get smacked down, no matter who you are. So I don't think it's play ball. I think it's people just think they're awesome and that they're untouchable, and they're not. See if I keep going. All right. Should there be a cap on how much an individual citizen can donate to any political campaign? There's a should. Let me go. The question is should. In my perfect world, no, absolutely not. In my perfect world. We don't live in a perfect world, obviously, right? So with the way things work now, you need to severely make things simpler when it comes to campaign finance reform. Campaign finance law is heavily, it's so much that I know I went through it. It's horrible. And guess what? Still lots of money and corruption in politics. It hasn't helped. So in theory, should no. But to do that, you've got to end the idea of corporations donating, entities donating. Unions shouldn't donate. PACs shouldn't donate. It's just an individual to donate. And every person has to basically wear, a jacket with the donors on their sleeve, figuratively, not literally, right? Everyone sees who gives the money, then nobody. If groups want to give money, put them together and give, they can, but the group, everyone lists with the group, who's in the group. Here's all the people in the group. PACs are anonymous, so the money's going out. So with that, it makes things bad. So, but in theory, no. All right. Let's see. What keeps you going when it seems absolutely impossible to get in the rigged game? Stupidity? Naivete? I don't know. I don't know why. If you've noticed, and many have noticed this, what usually happens, people run for office in the Libertarian Party, lose, you never see them again because they can't handle the defeat. They can't handle getting their butt kicked. They can't handle not getting supported. For those of you who've been in the party since 2016, 2012, who's left? From 2016? Me and Darryl Perry? That's about it. Everyone else is gone. And I expect the same from this crop. 2020 crop, most of them will be gone 2024. New crop will be in because they won't be able to handle the loss and the damage and the pain. And as soon as you lose, the second you lose, and those of you who run, you've had this happen, the second you lose, then all the haters come out. You suck. You were terrible. Why'd you waste? Blah, 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 blah. All comes out how bad you were and how much they hate you. And that all comes out. A lot of people can't handle that. So, yeah, you got to be able to just kind of keep pushing through it. I don't know. I keep going because I can't see a better answer, I guess. The Libertarian Party is broken in so many ways. Nationalism. I've said it publicly, and I'll say it again. It's a dumpster fire on wheels. It's horrible. So I'm not involved hardly at all. It's disaster. But without it, we're walking. So I stay on the dumpster fire, and I keep putting fires out. There's no better way to make change than the Libertarian Party. If there was a better one, I would probably jump on that. But there is no better one. That's the best one. And it's a disaster. And it's the best one. So let's get on it, and let's fix it. Let's stop putting the fires out, open up those wheels, and make it better than a dumpster. I think we just have to keep going. I have purpose. Maybe that's it, Michael. I got purpose. Is that the answer? I don't know. It might go back to stupidity or naivete, but I think I have purpose. So yes. There we go. Let's see if I can keep going. Grab a couple more. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. Yes, it often does. 100%. Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Love the idea of tiny homes. Thank you so much. And let's see. Getting kicked down should strengthen you. Read the book Anti-Fragile by Nassim Nicholas Taleb. Nassim Taleb is brilliant, Frank. You are right. I love his books. Obviously, the most popular one is the Black Swan, most popular of his books. But not his only book, obviously. But he is brilliant. Absolutely. Getting kicked down should strengthen you. But sadly, if you've been around long enough, you know, most people, when they get kicked down, don't get back up. They don't. They stay down. Most people don't. But when you get up, boy, you're stronger. I agree, Frank. And I've been knocked down, and I got back up, and I think I'm a lot stronger. I have much thicker skin than I've ever had. You see the insults I take on a weekly basis, and I just keep going. And people get mad at me, and I just keep going. And whatever, I just keep going. I take losses, and I keep going because you got to be stronger, Frank. You're totally right. Absolutely, yes. We dream of a better world, and that's why. Meh, I'll be around. Tim, I'm not letting you leave. You don't get to leave, Tim. I'm coming to your house. You don't get to leave. Win, lose, or draw. You don't get to leave. I'm coming to your house. So, yeah. All right. Let's see. Thoughts on Jason Stapleton being non-political. I'm okay. I had Jason on my show last year. He's talking much more about building yourself up, building businesses, building stuff. Totally okay. Totally okay. I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine. All right, guys. I want to say thank you so much for tonight. It's already 9 o'clock. The last thing I want to ask you before you go is what I always ask you. Please follow me on Twitter. I'm not joking. If you're watching now, go to Twitter and follow me. It does matter. And go to like me on Facebook, The Sharpe Way with Larry Sharpe. It does matter. Please go do it right now. And also like The Sharpe Way. Subscribe on YouTube. If you've got some cash, this is not free. So throw me $5 a month, $20 a month. If you're filthy rich, like I know Tim O'Connell is super rich. Tim O'Connell is. He can throw me like $500 a month because he's so super wealthy. If you're that wealthy, please do that. Otherwise, don't give me any money. I don't care. No worries. Like, comment, share. Go on to Twitter. Go on to Facebook. Like, this stuff matters. The bigger our social media footprint is, the better. Thank you guys so much. I will see you all tomorrow.